in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a happy morning. My name is Darlene McCormick. On behalf of the co-pastors and our Board of Trustees, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple for our Sunday service. To begin our service, Raquel will light 3 lights. This symbolizes the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, Raquel. She was nervous about doing that. Please rise for our opening prayer and remain standing for our first hymn. Infinite Spirit, thank you for this day, a day of new beginnings. May we walk in the grace of our God, and for all gathered here together in the light, love, and joy that you bring to us and through us. Let us say together, Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we're going to have Jamie Osmond step up for hymn number 4, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Stars to me, so
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay, located on the handout and at the front cover of the hymnal are our declaration of principles. Please join me in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm the communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule, whatsoever ye would that others do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. The healing prayer is located in the back of your hymnal. Please recite with me, prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Now, for those who would wish to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along the wall on this side. And while the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. Together, let us take a journey through nature, a journey assisted by the grace of God. Close your eyes, settle comfortably, and have your hands in your lap, palms up or down as you would like. Feet resting on the floor. Gently close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. Pause and breathe out. Breathe in again deeply and pause as a relaxed warmth moves ever downward through your throat, heart, stomach. Flowing naturally like water. Water, which is a giving life force in nature. You join with that flow, and your mind starts releasing the thoughts of the week, of the day. Be present and breathe deeply again. Pause and go within and see the wonder and the joy that is the true you. Float naturally on that joy. And take another deep breath and go ever deeper. Join with your soul, for the soul is the source of all things. And open your mind's eye so you may see, so you may hear, so you may feel. For we find ourselves in a wooded glen and you feel so safe. Safe, warm, and you hear the sounds around you, the sounds of the birds, the wind through the trees. Cannot see the wind, and you feel it brushing across your warm skin. You hear a cardinal, and it's a beautiful red cardinal. And because you are in your safe place, you truly see it. You see it as though it's the first time you have seen this beautiful red bird. It's not your first. It will not be your last. Yet, it feels like the best time for you see so clearly. And you listen with the ear of your heart. And you move through the glen into an open meadow, and you turn your face up to the warmth, and the sun is orange, and it is bright, and it is part of nature, a part of our life force. And you join with that. And you feel that that life force is the language of your soul. You know that you use your creativity for a higher purpose. And you move through the weta meadow. It's filled with beautiful yellow flowers, sunflowers, who always turn their face to the sun. And you follow that face towards the sun. You feel so valuable, just the way you are. For the sun warms your soul with the power that is you. The bright yellow opens you up to spirit. You know that all your answers are within you, all around you, in you, and you connect with the greater life force of nature. For you choose love, light, and healing. And you breathe in so deeply, and you go deeper yet within, walking through the meadow, come to ferns. They are all the wondrous shades of green and green, light green, dark green. And you feel the wind caress your soul. You listen, and you hear the dragonflies flying around you. You sense the butterfly's light touch. And what you hear is peace. For peace is the way of your life. For this moment, for this time, And at this time, you feel like it is forever, forever peace. You reach inside and you find the strength to forgive yourself. You find the strength to love yourself and all others. For I forgive myself and others in a grateful, caring manner. As you're heading towards the forest, you glance up, and the sun has created the brightest blue sky. You feel that sky talking to you, drawing you in, drifting up into the blueness. And hear this. I speak my truth lovingly. I open myself to spirit with great clarity. For my intuition serves me well. I am peaceful, tranquil, and serene. And you step deeper into the forest, where the sun fades just a bit, but the warmth remains. And you see deep, dark blue flowers, violets, and you walk through them with grace. Grace that you can feel because you know and say to yourself, I am a timeless, eternal being. For I open my eye to the light that is infinite. And somehow you breathe deeply and you go even deeper. And as you walk through the forest and the glen, colors of the flowers are purple with a white sheen. A white little waxy flower. It almost feels like every color of the rainbow. And you stop and you pause in the midst of all of the beauty of Mother Earth, Mother Nature. You're feeling things that you have never felt before, or you're feeling the joy of being one in the presence and the grace of God, who is a part of you, who is in you and through you. For that is the true you. And you hear yet again, I understand the deeper truths of suffering. For I can truly feel the peace and joy of my soul. You drift onward, and you feel the presence of another coming towards you on that path. In the shadows of the tree is another soul coming closer and coming clearer. And you feel the love of the dear soul that you so deeply need to see and feel. And join them. You're at a bench and you feel so rested and relaxed. You sit, and your dear soul that you love so much and this sits with you. Feel that love. Know that in this moment in time, I go with you again in all ways. Present with you on this journey, as they have always been present with you on your journey. Life fills you with joy. Sit quietly with them. And you find that for this time, you can speak to them. Tell them now what you feel. Ask them now those questions that you have. Or you can release all doubt about feeling, knowing, and hearing. For you are now listening with the ear of your heart. Be with them now. Be with them. Simply be. Hear the voice of Source. Now, I speak my truth lovingly. Feel connected with greater life. I am so close to Source who is in us, with us. Me and my loved one for this moment is beside me and in me. And one with me. For this time, you feel one with yourself, one with nature, one with the animals who are all around you, one with God. Slowly, you gather yourself together, for you know that it's time. You can wrap your arms around your loved one in this place and time, and feel those arms wrapped around you. You stand up, and you begin to walk back through the glade with a joyous, joyous soul, and the comfort that you know is the love of God, nature, and your soul. And as you gather, you start to stretch. Wiggle your fingers, start moving around. And know that you can go to this safe place again and again and feel your loved ones. For they are not gone. They are always present. And when you're ready, open your eyes and look to your left and right at those who love you so. Thank you. Now, if you received a healing resulting in a correction or improvement, please complete the yellow card, which is hiding here. It looks like this. It's really houses valuable information for us, and you can return it in several ways. You could give it to someone at the back of the temple or to the pastor, and you could mail it in if you would like. We would like to thank our healers for sharing their gift. I hope I have this right. Jackie Arnold, Deborah Jordan, Deborah Breton Ganberg. Who else? Ganberg. I always mess up your name, Deborah Breton Ganberg. Did I miss anyone? Thank you very much. It's time to sing. Please stand for our next hymn on 104, Flow, Spirit, Flow.
Be strong. That I may sing thy song. Yeah, spread.
Thank you. You may be seated.
All right. Oh, this is a joyous moment for me because I have the honor of introducing our speaker today, the Reverend Sheldon Ganberg. He's a highly accomplished fellow as a medium, a healer, an acupuncturist, say that 5 times fast, a physician, and an amazing teacher. And he will share some words of wisdom with us. And please give a very warm welcome to the Reverend Sheldon Ganberg.
I have to set up my little perch over here. This is one of the things about being around 5 foot 5 inches tall. You have to constantly adjust. Okay. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody here today. This beautiful, splendid day. But before I begin my talk, I would like to, I don't know if I ever got a chance, but I'd like to take this time to thank the Board of Trustees for appointing Reverend Deborah and Reverend Judy and myself, Reverend Sheldon, as co-pastors of Kobe Temple. And I feel so blessed to be here in this beautiful temple with its long, long history. As many of you may know, the Southern Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp Meeting Association, a community of spiritually minded people, was established in 1894. And you can just feel the energy of all the amazing mediums that have given talks and spirit messages right here in this temple. And so I'm extremely grateful to be here with you all right now. And you can just feel the energy embedded in the walls of this beautiful temple of all the history of mediums. And so to begin the title of my talk this morning, to share with you the title of my talk is Living in Grace. After walking the beautiful grounds here in Cassadaga, it's easy to notice that we are presently in the midst of spring. After a winter of dormancy, like life returns to spring. Flowers bloom, trees sprout leaves, animals come out of hibernation, and birds sing their springtime songs. Just the other day, I looked from my kitchen window and I saw about 5 deer, a mama, I think it was a papa, and 3 fawns. Life quickens again, which is a part of the natural cycle of life. It was a cute thing though. One of the big deer, I think it was the mama, and a little, it was food out that was left out for the deer, and the little baby came and wanted to eat. And the mama was there, and all of a sudden the mama looked at the baby and kicked the baby away and said, "Wait, your turn." Sounds like my kitchen table when I was growing up. Eventually the baby was able to come, and I guess the mama deer was just tasting it, just to make sure the food was okay. I'd like to think that. So in spring, perhaps we become more aware of the cycle of growth and decay in nature as the seeds break through the earth. Just the other day, I was walking by one of the paths over here, and I saw these beautiful, beautiful sunflowers, taller than me. So I knew spring was here. And so it's important to note that, we see the cycles of nature, but also humans have cycles as well. Sometimes we are productive and active, and other times we're dormant, hibernating, quiet. It's natural to feel differently at different times of the year because we are connected with the seasons. Cycles of activity and rest appear throughout the natural world. Living in harmony in the midst of the cycles are necessary for us humans to be in flow with the constant change that we all experience. These cycles of ebb and flow are known as natural and universal law in spiritualism. The ability to navigate these cycles are necessary for our serenity and growth as souls here on planet Earth. The spiritualist teacher and writer H. Gordon Burroughs stated in his book, Becoming a Spiritualist, that spiritualism teaches us how to live in harmony with universal and natural laws or principles. Burroughs says that, and I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit, It is each person's responsibility to find his or own way in applying these principles in a practical way in everyone's life and every day in life. Although slightly reworded, this concept is basically expressed in the 7th of the 9 principles of spiritualism that we read here at Kobe Temple every single Sunday. Again, Burroughs states, "It has been said that many roads lead to Rome. In like manner, many paths are traveled by the seeker of truth before he or she finds this wonderful harmony and kingdom of contentment." Through the teachings of spiritualism, the seeker of truth realizes that to find God, we must look within. We must look inside ourselves. When God is found there, humanity will see the manifestation of infinite intelligence everywhere. In the animal, vegetable, and mineral kingdoms, and the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and beyond. And so the other day, I took Burroughs' words into reflective meditation. As I walked my dog, Boo Boo, he's a little guru, I took a deep breath while looking out at the trees. I felt the warm sun on my face while listening to the hawks caw and the birds sing. To me, this is what Burroughs meant. I thought to myself, I'm so lucky to be alive. I truly am living in a state of grace right now. This experience inspired me to talk to you this morning about the spiritual principle of grace. Now, the dictionary defines grace as being unmerited divine assistance. Unmerited divine assistance. This conjures up all kinds of thoughts. The divine assistance part I can relate to. There have been days in my life that I felt led or assisted by divine guidance. I'm sure you have too. It's the unmerited part that I have real trouble with. For many years and in many ways, people of the Judeo-Christian faiths have been told that they're living by grace and that they are secured and supported by the love of God. However, there is also this insinuation that this grace is undeserved and that we as human beings could not possibly earn the grace of God because we're too flawed. How many of you were given those messages growing up? I was, for sure. Well, I'm here to say today that this is erroneous thinking, or as Gandhi would say, innocence of knowledge. The mystic Ernest Holmes defined grace as not something God imposes upon us, but it's the logical result of the correct relationship with spirit. The logical result of the correct relationship with spirit. Now, what does all of this mean? To me, it means that we are living in the flow of life with all of creation. And so, from my perspective, living in grace is the realization that we are at one with God and all of God's creation. It is the realization that we are co-creators with God, or better yet, of God. It is the realization that we are the arms and legs of God. It is the realization that we are cells of a greater being known as God. And it is the realization that the DNA of God is in each and every one of us. Each and every one of us. Grace is the realization of all of this. I'll take this one step further. Dr. Emily Cady, in her book Lessons in Truth, states the following. There is one God in the universe, one source of all the different forms of life or intelligence we see, whether they be human, animals, rocks, or trees. And so when I say we are co-creators with God, I do mean we. I mean all of us. The animal, the vegetable, the mineral kingdoms, the planets, the sun and the moon and the stars and beyond. Do you know that the scientists have found traces of stardust in the intracellular fluid of our bodies? We're all interconnected. We're all part of the creative order. We are all one. Yes, living in grace is the realization that we are at one with God and all of God's creation. And it is the realization that we are worthy, perfect, and whole in the mind of God, known as infinite intelligence in spiritualism. Now, I have a rhetorical question. If we were to use my definition of grace as the realization that we are one with God and all of God's creation on a human level and on a personal level, how do we know when our thinking and awareness is in alignment with spirit and we have the awareness of living in grace, in a state of grace, in a constant state of grace? As I pondered this question, the answers began to come. And this is what I came up with. We know when we are in alignment with spirit or infinite intelligence and living in grace when we are living with an open heart. When we are able to give and to receive love. When we are able and aware that God is within us and we feel the joy and the awe of that feeling of oneness. When we have the awareness that we are God's arms and legs and hearts as we serve the greater good of humanity and this earth. When we're able to feel the blessing of an authentic smile of another. And when we are really, really, really able to take it in. I don't know how many times I've reflected that, I deflected that, but to be able to really, really take it inside. We know when we are in alignment with spirit and living in grace, when we are able to look in the mirror and say, I love you, and really feel it. After reflecting upon this some more, another question came to me. I asked myself, how do we know when we are living out of grace? How do we know when we are feeling disconnected from the feeling of grace or divine inheritance? How do we know? And so again, this is what came through to me. Living out of grace is the false perception that we are separate from God and God's creation. We know when we are in the illusion of separateness, when we feel the empty hole inside ourselves and try to fill it with chemicals and food and alcohol and relationships. When we feel that we need to be perfect in order to be loved. When we feel disconnected with life and we are void of joy. When we live life through the ego self and experience grandiosity. When we have low self-esteem and feel unworthy. We can't feel grace when we feel shame about who we are and how we look. When we are fearful about what happened in the past or what will happen in the future, and when we are not living in the present moment. These are times when we feel disconnected from grace. I have a lot of questions and I talk to Spirit all the time. And so I'll share with you one more question, or I would say wonderment. Why is it that we are not always able to maintain the feeling of connectedness or hold on to the realization that we are always living in grace? There are times when I feel so connected to grace and everything around me. And I just want to hold on to that feeling forever and ever and ever. Why are we humans not able to feel grace all the time? Well, the answer came to me the other day as I was preparing this talk. Spirit works in mysterious ways. I was feeling particularly fear-filled. My anxiety levels were way up as I was thinking that there was no way I was going to stand here before you all and speak about grace. I was not feeling very grace-filled at that moment. And so I asked Spirit, what in the world is going on here? Where is this fear inside me coming from? When I'm serious, Spirit always answers me, whether I like it or not. All of a sudden, a memory came to me. I saw myself looking in the mirror, and I saw my father's face. Not my face, but my father's face. And he was saying, Sheldon, you can't do anything right. You can't do anything right. His words of belittlement seared right through my heart, as they did so many times in my childhood. The source of my fears came through loud and clear. The false messages that were imposed upon me by my father knocked me off center, and I felt out of grace. Sometimes we find that negative messages from the past begin to surface from the subconscious, bringing forth old doubts, fears, and insecurities. And so we feel disconnected from the truth of who we really are. The good news was that after I let myself feel my feelings, and it's so important to go through those stages of feeling the feelings and not just put it in the back burner, because those are growth experiences for us. So I let myself feel those feelings, and I was able to connect with the truth. The truth is that our irrevocable connection with God assures us that we We all come filled with the gifts and qualities of the divine. And in that moment of realization with my dad, I knew and I felt that the DNA of infinite intelligence was deep within my heart and soul, as it is yours. If this is true, and I believe it is, how could the negative and shaming messages received or passed on by others be true? Impossible. Living in grace is the realization and knowing that we are at one with God and all of God's creation. It is the feeling of divine love inside and out. And so I stand here before you right now with an open heart, feeling love and at one with each and every one of you. This is grace. This is living in grace. God bless you all.
Told you. Well done, Reverend Sheldon Ganberg. We have a little platform back here that we put up and down for those of us who are not 5'5". All right. And now we'll have a musical interlude. And during that time, we'll be passing the basket. And we thank you in advance for your generosity. And this music will be gratefully led by Jamie. She will do a little solo. Thank you.
And all I feel is all because of you. And all I read is all I saw, and love is our living proof. You thank you for everything. I stand here in grace and gratitude, and I thank you. See, someone's come and see, someone's go. No matter what we do, 1,000 names, 1,000 roads, all lead to one simple truth. Thank you for love. I thank you for everything. I stand here in grace and gratitude, and I thank you. I thank you for everything. I stand here in grace and gratitude, and I thank you. I stand here in grace and gratitude, and I thank you. I thank you, Spirit. Thank you.
And I thank you, Jane. Oh, that was emotional. Who didn't feel that? Oh, goodness. All right, announcements, that always lightens us up. Next Wednesday, our message bearer, oh, it's Students' Night. It will be wonderful. So that is Wednesday. That's already May 10th. Time runs by us. Next Sunday, May 14th, Mother's Day. Mother's Day, for those who forget. Our guest speaker at 10:30 service will be Margarita Varela. The co-pastors will also be giving out a little surprise to all the women who attend for Mother's Day. Now, every Sunday we have Adult Lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 to 10:15. Now, that is at the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, also known as the bookstore. There's a little door on the other side of the vending machine where you can go through the Welcome Center to the Fellowship Hall for that. And next Sunday, May 14th, our Lyceum speaker is Cindy Gordon, a licentiate minister, and she's wonderful. Next Saturday, May 13th, Spirit of Tranquility Gala Day. It's a street fair, and it's very fun. We'll have various speakers, readings by camp certified medium students, and swag bags for the first 100 people. There'll be healers and lots of vendors, crafts, and I'm in it for the food. Next Sunday, also from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis, Reverend Dr. Phil DeLong will be presenting a workshop entitled Your Spiritual Healing Toolkit. I could use a few tools in my kit. To participate in absentee healing, please print the first name, and yes, pause, I've got it. Please print the name and the first initial of the last name of a loved one, friend, or even a pet at the healing book, and that is in this corner of Colby Temple, my left to right. Flyers for camp events are in the back of the temple, and we have an activities calendar and a church bulletin in your hymnal, show and tell. We have extra copies of these in the back, so take these home, and if you would like an extra for friend or family, please feel free to take them. And also, always remember that our website, casadega.org, has this monthly information, and it's always updated. Life happens, things happen, and changes can occur, so consult just to be sure. And please stand for our next hymn, number 175, Be Happy.
We're so So beautiful face. I want you. Yes. He's so
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay. Now it's time for the message portion of our service, and Reverend Sheldon will be your message bearer. Please give him a warm welcome.
Whenever I hear the hymn, Be Happy, I always think of Be Happy, Be Happy. Ah. God, there are so many mediums right now in this room that it's hard to sort out all the different spirits here. Who's who? I'm feeling drawn to this lady here. If you're wearing a kind of an orange shirt, yes. What is your first name? Amanda. Amanda, I'm getting a strong feeling that you've experienced a loss recently. And I'm picking up that a spirit is saying that when you experience loss, you know, often what happens is that you're experiencing all the losses that you had in your life. And so spirit is asking that it may be in your highest good to just let yourself experience, let yourself feel the feelings around it. And I'm seeing this woman around you. She's wearing her hair. It comes around like this, and it's like a pepper color. And she's I see her cheeks are a little on the pudgy side, and she has a big smile on her face. And she is she has this great sense of humor and has a way of teaching through humor. And she can be quite a character. And she's the one who's really saying that to really, really let yourself be. She's saying that you've been spending your time kind of protecting yourself and holding yourself in check. And if you're able to, I'm hearing her say that if you're able to let go and feel your feelings and open yourself up, that you'll be able to experience all the feelings, including the feelings of joy. And you really deserve to feel that right now. You really deserve to move on with your life and do the things that keep you happy in life. It's really important. And she did everything for everybody else. And when she passed, she realized how much time she missed here on this earth, just feeling joyful. So she's encouraging you to do the same, to get out there, smell the flowers, do the things that you love doing, and to enjoy the remainder of your life. And we leave you with love and blessings. Okay, I'm feeling the lady in the pink. Yes, you. What's your name? Sandy? Nettie.
Betty.
Oh, Nettie. There's a man there right behind you. And I'm smelling something here. He was a smoker. And when he left this earth, he did leave with the complications of cigarette smoke. He was kind of a chain smoker. And part of the reason why he smoked so much, because they had a lot of stress and a lot of felt the responsibility of the world on his shoulders. And so he tended to use the cigarettes to kind of self-medicate and to help with some of the pain that he experienced. I'm also getting a sense that he fought in war. And a lot of his pain was a result of the things that he saw during the war. And he didn't know quite how to really overcome that and how to deal with that. He probably, I'm getting a sense, I'm feeling from spirit here that he had PTSD, and the PTSD wasn't known then for what it was. It often went undiagnosed. And so it's important for you and also for your family members to know that that's what actually why he was so irritable and so ugly at times. It was really tapping into the pain that he held from the war. And he wants you to know that he loves you, and that he loves you and wants you and is asking you not to take it personally. He couldn't help it. He couldn't help it. He was coming from a place of pain. And believe that with love and blessings. Okay, one more. I don't know what the person that has MILF. I have no idea what that stands for. I have no idea, but I'm feeling drawn to you for some reason. And I'm getting a feeling that there's somebody connected to you who it's interesting. The person who's I'm seeing water. And I don't know where the water is coming from, other than the fact that this person may have enjoyed fishing or going out into the ocean, going out to a lake. But water also has to do with the emotions. So this person was kind of moody and went up and down and up and down and up and down. This could be a grandparent, but somebody who is in your family lineage. And interestingly enough, you didn't know who was there, because I'm seeing the personalities change back and forth and back and forth. You know, who is this? You know, who is this? Who's showing up today? It was in your mind. Who's showing up today? Which personality? And so you had to learn how to cope with that change all the time. So the way you learned how to cope was through sense of humor. You were able to cope by having a good sense of humor, cracking some jokes, and what you were able to do is break the ice with that. And that's a gift of yours. Now, interestingly enough, when we come into this life, we come into this life with certain gifts, and we choose our experiences that we have in this life for a reason. And so I'm getting a strong sense that Spirit is saying, please explore that. I'm seeing you as as someone who can enjoy going into improvisational comedy and improvisation, because you have this ability to, once you get out of your head, you can just let things go right through you. And then you could be the life of the party if you let yourself be the life of the party. So comedy is something that may have come out of survival, but it's also a gift that you have. And Spirit is saying, is asking you to get out there and to explore that further and have fun and enjoy that. And we leave that with a lot of love and a lot of blessings. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sheldon. Well done, wouldn't you say? All right. We would like to remind everyone that we have our afternoon message service from 12 to 12:30, thereabouts, right here in Colby Temple. A group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit readings to as many individuals as they can reach during the approximate 30 minutes. Everyone is welcome. And we encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open 11:30 to 5 p.m. today and open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6, or Monday through Saturday. Oh, I'm missing words here and there. 10 to 6, Monday through Saturday. Please rise for the closing hymn, number 203, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and remain standing for the closing prayer.
Let there be peace on earth. With me. Let peace on earth. Peace and pleasant to be. With God, our Creator. Children all of that's what we do. Perfect home. Please begin with me. Let it speak. And now, with fighting, let it speak my soul and bound. Take each other kindly.
Yeah, we know that one. Ah, as we step out into this fine day, let us take the peace, love, and joy and walk with grace in the light of God as He walks with us, beside us, in us. And let us share the peace with others. Amen. Have a great day. Let there be peace on earth. Boy, I love having kids. Right? So now we know where they've been. Oh, I love it. Right. You know. I love to hear the kids. Oh,